Hello everybody, Tyrone the God 3 here, and welcome back to Dragon Ball Super Reviews. Today we'll be doing the review of episode 49, A Message from the Future, Goku Black Invades. This episode had some good and bad in it, and it is the episode that we needed, obviously, if Trunks is finally coming to, and he's able to explain some things that we all had questions about. He doesn't really explain a lot of the things we have questions about. He more or less explains the things that we have question about in the realm of Trunks' timeline in terms of Dragon Ball Z. However, I really didn't want answers to these, to be perfectly honest. And I know that sounds weird, and I'm a little dissatisfied at the answers. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad they put him in the situations, but I'm still at conflict. Now, this is where a lot of people who watch my videos will commentate and be like, here you go again. You're criticizing every episode of the Future Trunks arc. Well, the Future Trunks arc has a special connection to me personally because it's jumping off of my favorite arc, the Android Saga. And the Android Saga being my favorite arc, if you're going to use elements from it, then you best damn well use them correctly. Because to be quite honest, I love Future Trunks. He's probably one of my favorite Z Warriors out of all of them. But if you were to ask me, would you bring Future Trunks back, I'd tell you no. The reason of such is because I like another series known as the Sonic franchise, and what they did was something similar to what they're doing with Trunks. Shadow was supposed to die in Sonic Adventure 2. His character had made full resolution. He started off hating humans for something that they did out of hatred and ignorance to Maria. Because of this, Shadow wound up having a disdainful taste towards humans, and Maria's entire story arc was, hey, you need to let go, forgive, and forget, and protect the humans like Gerald Robotnik wanted you to. He reached that full resolution around the time that he fought the Bio Lizard in its final form, and he died because he sacrificed himself in order to teleport the Bio Lizard somewhere else. That's how his character arc comes from start to finish. And Trunks was introduced into this series as a character that comes from the history of Trunks. If you watch that before watching the Android Saga, then that's a nice prologue into all of the events that take place in the Android Saga and the epilogue episode where he kills androids 17, 18, and then finally Imperfect Cell. His character reaches full resolution. He's defeated the androids. There's nothing left. There's no Dragon Balls because Piccolo's dead and Goku's dead, so that means there's no villain seeking revenge. Trunks can live in a peaceful timeline. His character arc has reached full resolution. Then this crap comes out of nowhere just to bring Trunks back, and I gotta say, while this is aesthetically cool, there's still some problems. Namely, within the events of this episode. Don't get me wrong, like I said, this episode's good, so let's get into the plot summary real fast before I can go any further on my criticisms. Trunks is about to attack Goku from the events of last episode. Well, we thought he was, until he gets slapped. Honestly, if you want my opinion, I really don't like that Bulma smacked Trunks back into reality. The reason I don't like this is because, yeah, it's nice for a cheap little laugh, but I actually would have really loved to see if Trunks had a reason to fight Goku, because we see later in the episode that they decide to spar. Wouldn't it have been a lot better if Trunks had attacked Goku with everything, thinking that he's black, transform Super Saiyan 2 so Goku has no choice but to turn Super Saiyan 3, knock the crap out of Trunks, and that snap him back into reality? I don't know. I just feel that would have been a lot better as a fight of desperation broke out rather than a fight for shits and giggles. So, there's my 2 cents right there. It stops a potential fight that could have happened. I mean, the fight still happens, but this happens on a less serious tone. Anyway, after that's all said and done, Trunks explains that he came back to this timeline because something went down. Vegeta assumes that it's the Majin Buu threat, which I don't know why he assumed that, but yeah, Majin Buu threat. And the problem I have with this is, yeah, I'm glad that they actually gave the Majin Buu stuff a tackle. Because that's a question we've all been asking ever since the Majin Buu saga even happened way back when, is how did Trunks deal with Majin Buu? But then I really stopped and thought about it. Majin Buu, nor Babidi, or Deborah for that matter, should have even shown up to Earth. If you don't remember, Future Gohan and Trunks spent about, 10 years fighting the androids. So around 774, that's the year that Majin Buu strikes in the original timeline, Gohan and Trunks are still fighting the androids. Yeah, that's still taking place. You guys gotta remember that Trunks appeared in the future Well, it appeared from 20 years in the future, and then he jumped forward 3 years into the same timeline, the main timeline, just to see the progress of Goku and the others training in order to fight off with the androids and assist them in defeating the androids. And thus, during the year 767, which is when the androids fought in the main timeline, and when Cell shows up, and the Cell games, everything got resoluted in the same year, which was 7 years before Majin Buu shows up. Trunks, however, was not that fortunate because the fight that happened between the androids was way over 10 years, which means Majin Buu shouldn't show up in any sense of the word, because Babidi and Dabura don't have enough humans to absorb in order to even make Majin Buu, because 17 and 18 wiped them out. I'm also assuming that they can't use the powers of 17 and 18 because they are robots. So, with all of that being said, Babidi and Dabura in theory shouldn't even be here, but whatever, they caused that to happen, and Trunks ends up fighting Dabura, and he actually achieved the level of Super Saiyan 2. I would criticize on how exactly he turned Super Saiyan 2, because I'm sorry, just raising your power level doesn't achieve transformation. But I guess it's because he got training from King Kai, similar to how Goku gained Super Saiyan 3 from Grand Kai's training. So, I guess, there you go. Anyway, once that's all explained, Bulma ends up running into some notes from her future self on how to improve the time machine so that they can use the time machine in order to transport everybody to the future so that they can fight off against Black. When this all happens, they all come into the conclusion, and Beerus and Whis are actually ready to destroy the time machine because time traveling is a federal offense, which actually opens my eyes to something that I thought was really cool. What if Black isn't evil? Well, he's evil, but what if Black is actually like a time cop? What if he's actually a time patrolman? If traveling the past is illegal, then Trunks technically did do a crime. Since he did a crime, that means that that would explain why Black is looking for Trunks, and Trunks in particular. It would also explain why he has a time ring that allows him to go back to pursue Trunks. Because obviously if time traveling is a criminal offense, how are you going to pursue that criminal that's able to get away via a time machine? Well, you use a time device yourself. Because of this time ring, Black is actually able to come into the main timeline in order to fight off against Trunks, and the episode ends, which again, they did this again. What they did was that they showed us this part in the preview last episode, and they didn't show us much else. The reason that this makes me mad is because all of that hype that we had on Trunks and Goku fighting, plus Black appearing, only shows up for a couple of seconds in the episode. The preview is intentionally hiding the good parts, which means the fight between Goku and Black, based on the preview of this episode, should only be about 5 minutes long. But no, not even that, probably about 2 minutes long, based on all of what they've given us, because the preview shows the fight between Goku and Black. I hate to say it, but they formatted the previews in a way that makes us interested. They didn't show the Emperor Pilaf shoe and my BS again, which they're really annoying in this saga, to be perfectly honest. I get why they're here because of but again, they're more nuisance than anything else. But other than that, there are some good parts to this. I do love the fact that Trunks is confirmed to be Super Saiyan 2, because I always theorized that he could possibly do it anyway with enough training and future timeline if he's able to train under the right conditions where his life is at stake. So, with that being said, it is kind of cool to see that. Goku uses Super Saiyan 3 but doesn't show Trunks Super Saiyan Blue, but whatever. Overall, out of all of this, I gotta say Black is my favorite part of the Future Trunks arc so far, and that's kind of funny because I went into this not liking Black the most because he seems like a fan-fiction-y 12-year-old made character. The concept of evil Goku's been made before. It's called Turles. So I thought, but looking more at Black, he seems more and more interesting of a character than even Trunks or Mai. But with that said, this episode was okay, and the next episode is titled Goku vs. Black, A Road Towards Sealed Future. See you all then. Tyron the God 3 out.